Hi, Rockers. Here we are again with a new lesson. Yes, this is chapter 8, and it's called Treasure Island. Why do you think so? The spyglass is here. I don't have a spyglass. I think I used to have one. Well, we got Treasure Island, chapter 8. Treasure Island. Yes. On site. Land. So, main ideas. The island is finally sighted, marking a turning point in the voyage. The crew's behavior becomes suspicious. Tension rises. Captain Smollett and the few loyal men fear a mutiny. Unfortunately. Now, more main ideas. Jim begins to understand the dangerous reality of their mission. Long John Silver reveals his true pirate nature, killing Alan and Tom. Why? Because Alan and Tom don't want to join the mutiny. They don't want to betray the captain and the rest. The theme of loyalty versus betrayal becomes central. Exactly. The mist, silence, and tropical scenery add a gothic, mysterious tone. Now, setting in place. Where does the story take place? Aboard the Hispaniola sailing towards Treasure Island. The chapter begins at sea, and later the island comes into sight for the first time. The mood changes from excitement and curiosity to suspicion and danger as they approach land. The setting in time, remember that we are talking about the mid 18th century, around 1750, 1760, during the golden age of piracy, okay? Navigation, sea maps, and trade were essential parts of British life. Sailing ships were the main means of exploring, colonizing, and trading goods worldwide. We got some vocabulary. Anchor, anchor. Acá atrás te queda la N esa. ¿Vieron que es como una N y una G? Se enganchan. Bueno, porque queda acá. Anchor. A heavy object used to moor a ship to the sea bottom. Yeah, the ship lay at anchor, gently rocking in the harbor. Mutiny. A rebellion against the ship's captain or authority. There's talk of mutiny among the crew, whispered the innkeeper. Ashore, on or to the land from the ship. Once ashore, Jim followed the sailors into the tavern. We've got scoundrel, scoundrel, a dishonest or wicked person. That scoundrel Silva hides his true nature behind a friendly smile. A lot of people do that. Crutch, a support used by someone with difficulty walking. Fortunately, after my accident, well, it's not an accident, but a woman crashed against me, but I don't need to use a crutch, fortunately. Well, a support used by someone with difficulty walking. Long John Silver hobbled in on his crutch, cheerful and commanding. To be led away. To be led, o sea, to be es lo que después uno conjuga, ¿sí? To be taken somewhere, often unwillingly or under control. The prisoner was led away by two burly seamen. Led is the past and past participle of lead. Fíjense, lead, leader, for you to connect words. Now, scoundrel the same. Next, crutch. The support used, it's repeated. Oh, to dig a knife. Sorry, it's my mistake. To stab or threaten, yes, with a knife. Imagine, oh, I got stuck. This is a knife. Now it got stuck with my fake fair. Tac, like this, no? Tacate, tacate, tacate. This is what Jim saw that Silver was doing on one of the guys that didn't want to join the mutiny. To dig a knife, to stab or threaten with a knife, figuratively or literally, okay? He looked ready to dig a knife into anyone who crossed him. Oh my gosh. No. Now, the mist. A thing fog or haze. A mist hung over the harbor, blurring the outlines of the anchored ships. Esto es más generalizado, no es exactamente la historia ahí, el ejemplo, ¿no? Pero el mist es cuando uno no ve nada, así que está todo como grisáceo, ¿sí? Crew, the group of people who work on a ship. The crew gathered at the dock, rough looking and sunburned. As gentle as sheep, very mild and harmless in behavior. They looked as gentle as sheep, but I knew better than to trust them. Sabía más. I'd rather die. Este es cuando le habla, este muchacho, le hablan a Silver. Se había enterado que había matado a uno de los amigos y lo terminan matando a él, ¿no? A strong refusal, preferring death over an alternative. I'd rather die than betray the captain's trust, said Jim defiantly. Good. Now, historical context. This is very important. Stevenson, the author, wrote Treasure Island in 1881 during the Victorian era. It reflects the fascination with adventure, morality, and empire typical of that period. The story shows the conflict between law and lawlessness, greed and honor, and the rise of the British maritime spirit. The British maritime spirit. The pirates represent both rebellion and moral corruption, while Jim embodies youthful curiosity and courage. Very courageous, yes, sure. Type of narrator, we have been repeating this. First person narrative told by Jim Hawkins. Jim is both participant and observer, okay? Recounting his experiences with reflection and emotion. O sea, las va contando desde el principio. Sabemos que es un Jim adulto que cuenta gracias al Captain Mollett, creo, el Dr. Livesey. Le piden que cuente toda la narrativa de lo que pasó. This personal narration creates tension and empathy. As readers see events unfold, se van desplegando todos los eventos, through a young boy's perspective. O sea, todo lo aprendemos de los ojos de Jim. Ahí estamos con los characters and traits. Here we have Jim Hawkins, curious, brave, intelligent. He observes everything and begins to mature as he faces danger. Cada vez peor, se va metiendo más quilombo, pobre. Shows moral integrity and a sense of responsibility beyond his age. He was a kid. The Captain Smollett, obviously. Honest, disciplined, cautious. Distrusts the crew from the very beginning. Represents authority, order, and professionalism. The crew. Divided between loyal sailors and hidden pirates. Those who pretend, que simulan ser buenos. Many are secretly loyal to Long John Silver and plan a mutiny. Their behavior becomes increasingly suspicious as they near the island they get close to. Long John Silver. Charismatic, cunning, astuto, manipulative, and dangerous. Keeps his pirate identity hidden under a friendly, talkative mask. He uses charm and intelligence to lead the crew and deceive others. His crutch becomes a symbol of both weakness, because he has one leg, and power, because he ends up killing the people. Poor Tom and Alan, pobre Tom, poor Alan. Loyal sailors that refuse to join the mutiny. Both are killed by Silver or the mutineers. Their death revealed the moral divide on the ship and the real face of Silver's cruelty. To set sail to begin a voyage. The Hispaniola set sail for Treasure Island. Acá tenemos phrasal verbs, ¿ok? Look out for. To watch carefully for danger. Jim looked out for signs of trouble. Turn against, become hostile. The crew turned against the captain. part of the crew, ¿no? The pirates o hidden pirates. Bueno, igual había uno que era bueno y lo tornearon la convirtieron en malo. Money, because of the treasure. Find out, discover. Jim found out about the mutiny. Están contadas en pasado. Break out, start suddenly. A fight broke out on deck. Get away, escape. Jim tried to get away quietly, más silenciosamente, o sea, que se fue escondiendo entonces. Calm down. Stop being angry nor excited. The captain told them to calm down. He was very strict. Me gustó la forma que manejaba el bote. Cosa que el first commander, who disappeared, didn't do. Stand up to. Confront someone bravely. Piensen en esto, que te quedas parado, stand up to. Jim stood up to Silver despite the danger. Look around, explore. The crew looked around the island. The island, la S no la pronuncian. Hold on, wait or stay firm. Hold on, lads, shouted the captain. Vamos con las debatable questions. Was Captain Smollett right to distrust the crew from the very beginning? Yes, his experience made him perceptive. He sensed a hidden threat early, amenaza. Is Long John Silver evil or just pragmatic? Well, he's pragmatic. He kills to survive, but also manipulates for gain. I don't like him. Why does Jim admire Silver despite knowing he's dangerous? At first, he distrusts him, remember? Silver's charisma and courage attract Jim, showing the complexity of moral influence. What does the island symbolize? The island represents temptation and human greed. Are the loyal sailors heroes or victims? They are both. Brave enough to resist, but powerless against the pirates. What role does fear play in this chapter? Well, fear controls the crew and tests everyone's courage. Exactly. Why is the mist important? It symbolizes confusion and the moral fog between good and evil. Does Jim's narration make the story more believable? Yes, his youthful sincerity gives authenticity and suspense. How does Stevenson build tension? Through silence, weather changes, secret conversations. Is mutiny ever justified? In extreme oppression, maybe, but here it's driven by greed. La avaricia es uno de los 7 pecados capitales. 7 deadly, las mortales. Why are Tom and Alan significant? Well, they highlight loyalty and the cost of integrity. How does power shift? Shift on the ship from authority to rebellion? Silver becomes the real leader. What's the moral lesson of the chapter? Trust must be earned and greed destroys loyalty. Exactamente, vamos de nuevo. Trust must be earned, o sea, te tienes que ganar la confianza. But greed destroys loyalty. What do you think? Do you agree? How is the sea both freedom and danger? It offers adventures but isolates people from safety. Why does Jim feel isolated? He's too young to belong to either group, pirates or officers. Does Silver genuinely like Jim? Possibly. Jim represents innocence that Silver has lost. How does language reveal character? A ver, Silver's speech is persuasive, the captain's is strict and formal. What emotion dominates the chapter? Suspense mixed with fear and betrayal. Very good. How is this chapter a turning point? We mentioned this. It moves from preparation to real conflict. The dream of adventure turns deadly. Empieza a morir gente. What would you do if you were Jim? Well, I'd try to stay loyal but cautious. Trusting no one fully. Exacto, yo no confiaría en ninguno. Bueno, we end up with this. It's a review summary. Again, I erased the verbs. I invite you to complete them with the present, reviewing the present, retelling the story in the present, and retelling the story in the past, but separately, okay? Todo lo hacen con el present y después todo con el past. This in Chapter 8, Treasure Island, the crew finally land, but the mood from excitement to dread. Jim the growing danger aboard the Hispaniola as long as John Silver's true intentions to surface. The death of Alan and Tom mutiny. Stevenson masterfully the beauty of the island with the darkness of human greed and betrayal. Through Jim's eyes, the reader, the loss of innocence and the beginning of true adventure. One that, courage, loyalty, and survival. All right. And let me show you. Here you have all the pronunciation of it. You can take a picture of it. And something very important to mention. A ver, remember, arrive es llegar. Entonces siempre enseñamos arrive in a country, arrive in a city, arrive at a place, pero justo con la isla es la que va a decir arrive on the island. Clear? La que tenemos que usar para la isla. Arrive on the island. And we have a picture that we didn't see before. This is when Jim escapes from the barrel after overhearing all the dialogues, yes, between Silver and the guys. Okay, well, quite a long one, yes? Y este era Treasure Island. I believe it was gonna be short, but it took a lot of time to prepare it, okay? Keep on rocking it.